In the Prezi that I'm about to show you, I will be comparing the colonial life, my life, and the life of my grandma. My colony is Massachusetts. Massachusetts is mountainous, it's by the Atlantic Plains, a lot of rivers, 3/5 of it is forest. There are warm summers and cold winters. It became a colony because it is by the ocean and it would be a good place to start a living. My grandma grew up in Austin, Minnesota. It was a small place back then. My grandma lived in town. She did a lot of work and homework. Iowa. I grew up in Iowa. Iowa is 310 miles long and 200 miles wide. Iowa covers 56,276 square miles, making it the 26th largest state. The mean elevation of the state of Iowa is 1,100 feet above sea level. The change for the settlers was coming to a new country and starting a new life. Another change is living off the land because they didn't do that where they came from. A change for my grandma was getting her first job, and her first job was babysitting, and it was very hard for her. The biggest change for me was going into a new house. Even though it was still on the same property, it was still hard to get used to it. If you were by the water, you would eat fish and seafood. If you lived in land, then you would eat wild game for the colony. What my grandma liked to eat was anything that was good. Her favorite thing was burgers and french fries. What I like to have for food is Chinese. I like Chinese food because there's always flavor in it. There's different kinds of food, so it tastes really good. The music that the colonial people listened to was folk songs and religious songs. They'd be listening to other people sing it because they didn't have radios or anything. My grandmas listened to country music and church songs, and they had radios. I like to listen to anything that is on the radio. My favorite artist is Nelly. I have a lot of favorite songs, and most of them are made by Nelly. The transportation for the colonial era was ships, walking, wagons, and horses. Transportation for my grandma was walking, car, bike, and boats, and she mainly walked to all of her destinations. The transportation that we have today are cars, walks, planes, boats, bikes, and buses, and so on. The chores for the colonial era was feed and water the farm animals. Younger kids were to go out uh, to look over the animals and to pick berries. The whole family would help make clothes. Chores for my grandma was to feed and water the animals, go to school, and help do chores around her house. Chores for me are feed and water the dog and my cat, help dad with his chores, do the dishes, and go to school.